Welcome to Life Choices. Thank you for joining us today. We have a couple of fabulous guests you're really going to enjoy. One is a TV personality all of her own and has been for a long time, Ninon de Vere de Rosa.
You got it right. Amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
did get it right. I practiced, and AJ helped me. and my other guest is AJ Dean. And AJ is also on the show with Ninon and does all kinds of other things for her as well, which we're going to find out about. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for both for being here today.
Well, thank you for inviting us.
So
and this is wonderful.
Tell my audience about your show, because I was a guest on your show.
Yes, you were.
And it was fun.
Yes. Well, my show in Vegas is actually called Vegas Live with Ninon, and of course you know I'm Ninon. And it's something I started 6 years ago now. It'll be 6 years in November. And it's sort of grown very, very large. But what I really, my aim was to interview all the entertainment people that they're too big to be on a very small show, and they're not big enough to be on the big show. So I was kind of I still am, the intermediate show that they could come on, let everybody know who they are, what they do, where they're performing, upcoming performances, and then I allow them to put their phone number or their email or whatever on the show so people can get in touch with them and they can get work.
Well, that was really a fun show. Beyond the thing I was fascinated about, because before I was on your show, I watched it quite a few times to see
good.
what it's all about.
What was she on about?
Like to be prepared. So I watched it, and what I found interesting was that you always have two guests, and they seem to come from two different avenues.
Oh, you're talking about Ninon Speaks.
Yes.
That's another show. So let me tell you about this. So the Vegas Live with Ninon is one show I have in Vegas. Now the show I have with AJ, this is fascinating. With Vegas Live with Ninon, this woman would come on and she'd tag me all over the place. And this went on for a couple of years. And I thought, who on earth is this woman? I'm going to find out. So I went and I asked her, and then I thought, I'll go onto Messenger and say hello. And it was AJ that I said hello to, and this is the young lady, AJ Dean. And so we started talking and everything, and I had another show at that time called Ninon Speaks. But it was a private show that I actually did. I had one-on-one people. They would come to my home. They would be on whatever platform, whatever was going on. And I would help them, to get their next level. And so I started talking about this with AJ, and I said, well, why don't we start a show? Because it was the pandemic, so it was all about sort of, trying to get something going.
Right.
I said, why don't we try this on Zoom? Now, AJ had never done this. And AJ's wondering, what on earth is going on? How do I do this? What do I do? So she immediately got herself involved with Zoom. And I guess the story sort of is the beginning, and that's why we're here, because of AJ.
Yes.
AJ is my co-host, and she is also my producer. And she's the most amazing person. She actually keeps me in line, which is a very difficult thing to do. But
it's an honor to work
But she's
with
she's amazing.
Yes.
So that's the story of. And yes, we do. We only have two guests.
Yes, and they're very different.
Yes.
And it makes for very interesting conversation.
Yeah, because they can talk, or sometimes they're both like a burlesque. There's two different, there's a one age of burlesque, another age of burlesque, one's young, one's older, and they've got different ways and different ideas and different ways of doing things. And that's actually what we wanted to bring. And also the reason we have them on is if we can help them at any time. How can we help you get to the next level? What can we do? We're already having a show so you can say who you are, so people can see who you are. Put your phone number out there, again, the phone number, the email, how they can contact you, and how you can get more work, and how can other people follow what you're doing.
Yes, I loved it. I thought
it was great. It was wonderful. Yeah. And, of course, AJ got you on the show.
Yes, she did.
This is yes.
It was a wonderful show, and you made it spectacular, Judy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I get on shows, I get a little uptight. I try to be too proper,
and just relax and be
not
you.
behave like I really am.
No.
And so
I love it.
So John's always teasing me here at the studio. You were too proper today. You've got to be who you
just
really
relax,
are.
laugh, and joke,
Yeah.
and have
So
fun.
yesterday I just totally screwed up in the middle of one of my shows, and I just left it and kept going. I thought, well, I wasn't perfect.
Well, no, but it's you, and it is life.
Yes.
That is life. We all sort of kind of, not do the right thing at the right time.
You've been doing television for a while.
Oh, well, I had another show called, which I love this show, it was called Voices of Tomorrow. It was a show for the younger generation, and I interviewed children from the age of 12, sometimes a little younger, to 18, sometimes a little older. I did that show for 16 years.
Wow.
I'm really going to brag, though. I'm going to brag big time. I've won just over 100 awards for that show and for all the other shows I've done. And to prove it, I've got AJ to prove it. She's been in my office.
Oh yes, it's a beautiful room.
All of all these, and everyone says to me, "Why do you put that up there?" I said, "Because I achieved it and I did it, and it's really not. They were given to me, but they're really for the children.
Yes,
because they kind of made the show.
But children are funny.
You know something? I don't know how many shows, but I did it for 16 years. And not one of the children ever did a bad point on any one show. They never swore, they were polite, but they told the story. I could never pre-interview them because they was like, "Oh, you asked me that question yesterday." So, okay. So I did it one time and this girl said, "Well, you asked me that yesterday, I've already told you." And I thought, okay, well, I'm not do that again. I learned not to pre-interview.
Yes.
And I've learned that. So now all my shows I don't pre-interview. Never pre-interview anybody.
Yes. I did a show for a while. It was The World of Book Reviews. And my co-host was an 8-year-old girl. And she read the children's books, and then she would give her view of the children's books, and it was so fun.
Oh, yes,
she was
I
such
bet.
a star. I'll never forget, she did one on the white horse, and she was so impressed with this white horse and that it had been in the
Because she loved
forest.
it, and she probably came out great.
And she just told the whole story, and it
Yeah,
was
but
so great.
See, when children talk and when they're asked a question, you come out with any phoniness, no nothing. It's straightforward. It might not be the answer you expect, but it is an answer of what they feel and who they are.
Yeah. AJ, were you a director before, or did you just
No.
you just did this and now because you're good at it?
Oh, well, thank you.
She's excellent.
This is my first time being producer and co-host, and I'm so thankful to Ninon de Vere de Rosa. She's my mentor. She's the best boss. And you were speaking the other day about messing up, and I did mess up on one of our shows. I kind of didn't say it correctly something on Chef Tarantino and Mario Rizzati's show.
Rizzati's show, yeah.
But you know what? I kept going, and it's totally fine because that's me, and
you
okay.
can mess up, and actually when you do mess up, I happen to like it because you
It's
become
real.
human.
It's real.
It's real, and you're human, and that I do like. So in this day and age, and I think the pandemic has made it even more so, that you can really be more. It can be more of a natural show, more of a just like we're talking right now.
Yeah,
This is
and a
not
conversation,
having a
yeah.
conversation. It's
Yeah,
more of a coffee table. This is the new coffee table, guys.
Well, I'll tell you.
Where are we? We're at WWDBTV.com.
Yes, on the Golden Network.
On the
in
Golden
Las
Network.
Vegas, Nevada, and we
Okay.
have a wonderful
See, it took
studio.
3 ladies to actually know where we are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now where were we? Yes, I've kind of spaced it now for a minute.
We were talking about how
how-
real.
Oh, well,
being real.
Having
yeah.
a
Oh, that's what I
producer.
was going to
Yes.
say. Was when I was, I spent a ton of money hiring people to help me market, to get out there and let people know who I was. And these people didn't really do the job that I hired them for.
Don't we know that?
You know that one, don't you?
I've spent more money and now say, I'd like to do your marketing. And I say, well, how much do you charge? They tell me. I said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I said, I'll pay you. You get me marketing. You get me an advertising. I'll even give you 30%. Well, guys out there, I'll give 30%. And they say, but Ninon, that's too much. I said, no, it's not too much because
No.
it's hard to get it.
No.
But I will not pay them up front. I will
No.
not do that. I spent, I don't know how much money.
Yeah,
Like you.
I did it and did it and did it. And then I saw this course from the American Marketing Association on digital marketing. And I thought, you know what, I think I'm gonna take that because I'm tired of spending money with people and them not producing.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people in our age bracket especially that are out there that would like to do something online.
Yes.
They would like to maybe sell something or show their art or something, but they don't know how to do it, so they hire people and then it doesn't turn out. So I thought I'm gonna learn this myself.
And you're absolutely right.
So I went and I took this American Marketing Association program.
It's a good plug for American Marketing
Yeah,
Association.
well, it was
out
a
there.
good program
I'm telling
too.
you. That's a good marketing
And it
thing.
was expensive.
You should get paid for that.
Oh, good. Okay. So it was expensive, but I have to tell you, the first exercise that they had me do, I brought back more money than I had paid for their whole course. I was so proud, and
Remember
I did
this
it.
company.
And I
We're
did
gonna
it
take the
myself.
cost.
Yes.
And so I've been doing this digital marketing myself just to promote my own show and
Yes.
my own books and my own artwork
Fabulous,
and those
Judy.
things.
Good for you.
And you know, at this age, people go, "Wow, you're doing that," you know, and it's so cool because now the young kids want to talk to me. When I
Good.
show up at things and I can ask
Love
brilliant questions about technology, they like me. You know, it's kind
But
of
the
nice.
funny thing is, we are actually mature. We've been through the world, the life, the whatever you want to call this thing we go through for quite a few years. We really do have the knowledge as an older person.
Yes.
And just because we're old, we're not dead.
Exactly.
You know, and they seem to think, and I was talking the other day that they should have a fashion show for over 50. Or even over maybe 55, 60, because we spend the money, we buy the clothes, and we also want to look good.
Exactly.
They don't have any fashion shows for us.
Well, years ago, I used to own Universal Models here in Vegas.
Oh, really?
And I think I was the first person to ever put a plus-size model in a fashion show.
Wonderful.
And Nancy Austin, I don't know if you remember Nancy Austin, she was a very well-known comic here in Vegas back then, and she was a heavy-set lady, and she had a shop, Nancy Austin's designs for heavier women, for plus-size
Yes.
women. And so she would furnish the model and the clothing for
Yeah.
the show, and it was always the hit of the show. Always. The ladies in the audience went nuts when they came out there.
Because they're taken notice of, like the older women are taken notice of. And
Yes.
we are still living, we're still doing our thing. We're not going to, you know,
And we're
I'm not
still
going to say
very-
how old I am. Well, yeah, I will. I'm 39. And I've
Yes.
just been holding for quite a
Yes.
long time. But that's okay.
And you do it very well.
Do I do it right? I'm holding, hanging in there.
You're looking very good.
We're trying.
No, but you know, I think, and what I love about this show is my audience is a little older audience. You know, they're over 50, and I love that because.
Well, they want to see the show as
they
well.
see, yeah, that I'm here and I'm well over 50, and so they're like, oh, well, that's good. And I try to have guests that are 50-ish, you know,
Yes,
over a little
yes.
bit, and so that people can see life is not over when you're 50.
Right.
No, it's not.
There's
It's actually
so
can be
much
the beginning
more.
of another. I
Thank
think
you.
every 10 years your life kind of changes. And like when I first got married, it was all the goo-goom, all that lovely stuff. And then like 5 years it starts wheedling down, and then another 10 years you're kind of doing something different. But you never notice the platforms it goes through. But if you look back, you see the platforms life goes through.
Yes.
And I think every single one has a message, it has a story, and it certainly has a life.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, how do you go about finding these guests that you find? Because you get some pretty interesting people.
Yes, she
I
does.
give a special shout out to Georgette Dante,
Yes.
our director of entertainment, who lives here in Las Vegas, Nevada. She has helped me so much. She's the majority of help of how we
Yes,
get our
she-
guests.
yes.
So
That's
I want to
wonderful.
give credit to her and tip my hat to Georgette. She's wonderful in that she knows a lot of people, and she is a show business legend.
Yeah.
She really is.
Yeah. It's exciting to live here in the show business capital of the world. You know, I came here originally in 1962.
Oh,
So,
you were born.
I was born here, yes. No.
I was going to say, when you're old.
So I came here in 62, and I've seen changes.
I'm sure you
Incredible changes.
Yes.
I moved away for 10 years to Africa, and then I came back. Well, during that time I moved away, things just leaped.
Yes.
You know, Las Vegas was this, and then I moved away, and I came back, and now it was this.
Yes, everything's happening now.
Yes. And it's hard to keep up with everybody. You know, I was used to Las Vegas being a little town, but
Oh,
now
it's
it's
not
a
now.
big city, and keeping up with it. But it's great because we have all these entertainers.
Yes.
But we can also get guests from other walks of life here in Vegas as well, because of the transient nature of the people who come in and out for conventions and things.
Absolutely.
Cosmopolitan.
But
Yeah.
what AJ does do, you have people coming in, because we do it by Zoom or whichever platform we can do, but at the moment we're doing Zoom, is we've had people in from Paris, we've had Australia, London. We can go across the board, and we've got it, you have got it, so she's got it set up in such a way that it becomes very, very easy for them, because they can actually do it out of their home.
Yes.
And so she has a tech check, with the clients the day before or the day or whatever, and she checks to make sure they're all okay, lighting and everything else. And it's hard for them because they're not used to it. So that's how kind of it gets together. But
but Ninon, the foundation behind it, and I want to get to Vegas Live with Ninon. Subscribe to Vegas Live with Ninon on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, all over, and please support Ninon de Vere de Rosa because she has a beautiful heart and she loves people and helping people and promoting people. And I want to give a shout out to you, Ninon.
Thank you. That's so sweet. Well, I'm giving a shout out to her. And I'm giving a shout out to Judy.
Let's just shouting out to
everybody. But Judy, you have a great show here.
Yes, you do.
How long have you been doing the show here?
This actually is 2 years.
2 years now. Fabulous.
Yes. Wow. And this week is the first week we're in this new studio, which is really fun.
It's lovely. It's big. It's nice.
It's
big
clean and nice and pretty. And we have an indoor bathroom.
Oh, wow. And a dressing room.
I thought all bathrooms were indoors. I thought the water closet is actually in England, and that is outside. It's called the WC. So that is a funny line, because we really do have outside bathrooms in England. In old farmhouses, some of the bathrooms.
Yeah, all over America we used to have those too.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you call it? We call ours a WC.
Yes, you did.
Same thing.
When I lived in Africa, it was called a loo.
Oh, does anybody know what the loo is?
Not in here.
No, nobody knows. Funny, I was talking about this the other day with somebody. I forget who it was. Somebody, and I said, "Oh yes, we have the WC and we have the loo."
What does WC mean?
Walk-in
closet?
Water closet.
Water closet.
Water closet. And the loo is actually commonly known, my dear, as the toilet. If you want to know.
But in some countries, I asked to go to the ladies' room, and they don't know what I'm talking about. So
we don't have a ladies' room.
Yeah, they're like, what? Ladies' room? And I have to go, loo, WC,
toilet. I want a cake.
A place I can rest my hat, or right?
Yeah. So, but it's fun, and it's fun having you here because very seldom do you get to have somebody else who does what you do.
What you do, yes.
On
and
your
exciting
show.
because I know what you go through. I know the stories. I know everything that happens, and it's fascinating to try to find a studio, which you have a great studio here. So
yes,
it's all
and
very.
You're welcome to.
I have a question.
You.
Would you like to combine efforts and be two co-hosts together on a show?
Oh, we could do something wild.
We could definitely.
Wouldn't that be fun? Right here.
Yeah, we could do it right here and interview all kinds of interesting people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But so you've been here quite some time.
I've been here 2 years with this show. Before I had a show called The World of Book Reviews, and I did.
You must know
reviews.
James Kelly.
No, who's James Kelly?
Well, James Kelly has a book review as well. He's a publisher.
Oh, really?
And he's written 4 or 5 books. He's from Quirky Minds Media, which is actually where I filmed our show, Vegas Live with Ninon, out of, and he's given me his studio to use.
Wow.
Which
no,
is
I
wonderful.
don't know.
That
Wish I
every
did.
week. Yeah, he's a great guy. Well, we'll make sure you meet him.
Thank
we'll make
you.
sure you
He's wonderful.
introduce.
It was fun to do the show on book reviews because I got to read all those books. But the problem was, I got to read all those books. You had to read the book before you could review it.
Well, I could never do that.
And so
I don't read books.
Sometimes I was reading 20 books a month. It was like, whoa.
Don't think I've read 20 books in my lifetime.
Come on, of course.
Well, I do a lot of reading, obviously, on the computer. And that's where I.
Where are you from? We've got this charming accent.
I'm actually originally from my mother.
Oh, well, that's a good place to be from.
I love it.
Actually, I'm from a little place. I'm from England. I'm from a place called Torquay, Torquay, Devon, and I was born at Goodrington Sands, Paynton.
Oh, wow.
But I've travelled. I left home at 16, and I kind of travelled.
Because your accent doesn't sound English.
I'm
it's
English.
Very unique.
It's very well. It's kind of got some. I lived in Beirut for a couple of years.
Ah.
I lived in Jamaica for 9 months, and then I moved to America, and I lived in Miami. Miami was fascinating. That's before the south part of Miami was built up.
And did you always do television?
I started out modelling and did extremely well in London, obviously. Trying out a new thing. I was 16. It was difficult and hard, but you get your name out there and you keep doing what you're doing and stay skinny and you stay on top of the game.
And you stay hungry.
And you stay hungry all the time. But I was never a big eater, so I was always very skinny, and I never really went on a diet because I never really ate that much. But anyway, and from there I went to Beirut in a show called May We. And Maywee was in the Casino de Lebanon, and I had an underwater swimming act. It was in a little ball, 1.5 feet by 4.5 feet, and I did this act in it. Did that for a couple of years in Beirut. Also did movies there and did a lot of photography work, and then moved back to England and continued with my my acting and my commercials and everything. And then from there I went over to Jamaica with another young lady, and we were sort of going there together, and I was sort of with her as a kind of a partner. Did a lot of shows there. And then moved to Miami, and I believe that I was in one of the last movies that Rita Hayworth did.
Really?
Yes, I did it was called The Grove. Bill Griffey was the producer-director, and Fred Singer was also one of the directors, and Rita Hayworth was the star, and Stephen Oliver was, I guess, the second star, the male star, whatever you call them. And I don't know if the movie ever came out. It was called The Grove out there, so if anybody knows about it, I was there. And it was a great, incredible experience.
I guess.
And then I moved out to California and Los Angeles, and I found it so hard to get into the business because of the English accent. And I thought, that was a perfect move, I'm English and I'm different. Well, it didn't work that way. But it was okay.
But you persevered because
that's
your nature.
That's me. I
Yes.
kept going and going and going. Then I met my beautiful, incredible husband, James DeRosa. I was the most beautiful marriage that any woman could have. I was married 29 years. He passed away 2004.
Sorry.
Me too. But we communicate. He tells me,
good. Okay.
he says he says to me, he says, you will never find another man like me, and you probably won't ever get married again. Well, he's right. You're right up there. I presume he's up there.
Well, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he's up there for sure.
I'm sure he is.
With Mum and Dad and all the others.
Yeah. And what did you do before, AJ?
What did I housewife really before, but I've always liked a little bit of the arts and entertainment, so I have worked a little bit. I volunteered 1 year at Sarasota Film Festival. When I was younger, I worked at LA at a few companies, entertainment companies, on the administrative business side. And then I've always loved arts, and I got a degree in graphic design, so I was always drawn to that. And that's why originally when I was contacting Ninon and liking her posts and putting hearts on her posts.
Oh, that's
she put everything.
I was wanting to promote the dancers in London. I wasn't really wanting to promote myself, but during the conversation, Ninon said, "Well, what about you?" And I was sending her the video of other dancers, and she said, "But what about you?" And I said, "Me?" Well, I haven't really thought about me, but because these guys are the next generation, they're young. And then she said, "Well, let's talk about you, and maybe would you like to do this?" So she gave a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me for Ninon Speaks.
And that's what
she's
Ninon
resurrected
does.
it. Go ahead.
That's what Ninon Speaks does. It helps.
It helps
So she helped
people.
me.
Whether they're going to work for me or not, I can help them get to the next level.
Yes.
And that's what we're kind of working on
And yes, you
a little
have.
bit more
Yes.
in what we do to help people get to the next
So I'm
level.
grateful and thankful
Well,
to
she's
Ninon.
stunning. When she walked in here today, I was shocked how tall you are.
Yes,
because
it's
I'm
the
very
boots.
tall, and I was like, "Hi," and you're so gorgeous. I would have thought
beautiful.
you
I
would have
could clean
been.
the ceiling.
You would have
Judy.
been a showgirl, or you would have been a dancer,
absolutely,
or
yes.
I mean, you've just got that look. You're
But she's
just
also
nice.
got the poise, and she's also got the intelligence, and she's also got how to talk and how to be with. And that's a big plus,
It
how
is
to
a big
conduct
plus.
yourself
Thank you.
in this world of where you want to go.
I'm so tall I can clean if you want. Judy?
No, thank you. No, thank you. It shouldn't be
No,
dirty.
it's not
It's,
dirty.
it's
clean.
brand new. It can't be dirty yet.
No, no.
Oh, that reminds me of something, but I shouldn't tell you.
Oh,
but
please.
Go ahead.
I was at this woman's home, and she was a caterer, and she was making cakes and things for people, and her fan was turning above, and I noticed that it was dirty, and a piece of dirt flew off and landed on one of the cakes, and she just went scoop, and then kept icing it. And ever since then, whenever anybody makes me look up like that, I think about her and that cake, and that she
That is
scooped
funny.
it right off the top
That
and
is
just
funny.
decorated it and went right on. And I was like,
Wow.
"Ooh,
Talk
that's
about cakes. I just started a new show.
oh, you did?
Yes, in the kitchen.
How fun!
With Joe Tarantino. It's called Tarantino and Ninon. And the two of us are cooking together. Now, we've done 3 shows. It's hysterical. It seems to give me, my sense of humor seems to come out on this show, and I don't know why, but it's sort of enhancing something that my mother had a great sense of humor, and it's sort of...
Well, I would think that because you're busy doing something together, it would cause you to be more comfortable and have a regular everyday
we're having and then we have to get back to the cooking, but then we have our conversation. It's fabulous. I love it. And Tarantino is amazing. And by the way, he's opening his restaurant today.
Oh,
up in Georgia.
It's called Tarantino's.
It's called Tarantino's in Georgia, and everybody go there. He's an amazing Joe Tarantino, but the restaurant's called Tarantino's.
Isn't there a Tarantino's in California?
Yeah, there's a Tarantino's who's a famous movie producer and star and everything else, but they're not connected.
They're not the same ones.
No, they're not the same ones.
And we also had Mario Rizzati, who's the
Rizzati.
Iron Chef American culinary expert judge.
Yeah.
You got all that out in one sentence.
Yes, he was on the.
Oh, she's good like that.
He was on the Food Network, so I want to give a shout out to him as well.
Yes, he was fabulous.
He made a great, and they're going to come back actually for part 2 with the celebrity chefs.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Right, Ninon?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I would like a cooking show. Wouldn't that
I've
be?
always wanted to do a cooking show, and it just kind of fell into my lap, and I'm like, I'm hysterical about it. I love it. I said I would even fly to Georgia and film it there, because you can film 4 or 5 shows at one time, so you don't have to be there all the time.
Exactly.
So if I was there a couple of days, then he flies into Vegas, and we do a couple of shows here. So yeah.
How many shows do you do?
And then I got another show, the next star. They're all laughing back over there. They're laughing. Yes, I got another one, Rising Star. The next Rising Star. Yeah, I've got 4 shows.
I
done.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I love every minute of it. I don't really have to. Well, I guess I have to bring what I am, and then I have to, like I'm driving today and we're all talking, but I'm thinking, what are they going to ask me? What are they going to do? What am I going to say? You go through the ritual. You know that. You've been doing it a long time. Do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
You're a great
love it.
host.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
thank
fabulous.
You.
Yeah.
Thank
You're a
you.
wonderful host.
I really do. I really do enjoy it, and I really loved WWDBTV because they kind of let me do what I want to do.
Well, that's nice.
And that's kind of
Isn't
cool.
that lovely?
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. I love that.
John's great to work with, and my guests have been fabulous. And of course, Tima is a lovely lady. I mean, it's just a cool place. Whereas I did TV in a big TV studio in Africa when I was there, and it was government run, and so consequently everything had to be done this
Straight the
way,
right
and you
way,
couldn't
yeah.
say this and you couldn't say that, and
Is
you
that
had to
right?
behave a certain way, and
You
so-
probably had to read the teleprompter as well, did you?
Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah, sometimes,
yes.
yeah.
And
I could
that-
never read one.
teleprompters have always been a problem for me because, you see, I can't see that far, and I wouldn't put the glasses on TV
no.
because I didn't want to, and I couldn't see out there, so I would try to memorize it ahead of time,
That's
and I
good.
would go blah, 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 blah.
Well, that's even better.
And sometimes it wouldn't come out the way it was supposed to, and I'd be in trouble, but it's
Oh,
it's
you could
fun.
never be in
Television
trouble.
is fun.
Yes, it is.
And someone said to me recently, because I was a public speaker before, and I decided I don't want to be a public speaker anymore. I don't want to go
a
on
lot of pressure.
stages. I don't want to drive from city to city. I don't want to fly because I don't want to walk through the airports anymore
it's
and
a
all that
tough life.
stuff.
It's a tough
So I
life.
decided I didn't want to do that. And somebody said, well, what would you really love to do? And I said, television.
Yes.
There you go.
This is what I'd love to do.
TV is the future, virtual.
Well, I can still look at all the people I can reach. I can reach more people this way than I can
The
standing
other
on a
way.
stage.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you have your show once a week or twice a week?
Once a week.
Once a week.
I even want to give a shout out to Robert Downey Jr. He's even started a online show. It's about supporting the environment and
Ooh.
helping the earth, and it's
Oh,
a
I love
great
it.
cause.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention that as well. So everybody is doing a
He's
show.
the most amazing actor that I think. Obviously
Yes.
that's my opinion.
He is.
But he just goes into a part and he plays that part. And
Yes.
Whether I'm sure he studies it, I'm sure he has a method, but he actually takes on that part.
Yes, we want to
Yes.
say hi to Robert Downey Jr. Hello.
Hello,
and
Robert Downey
we-
Jr.
We send our best wishes
for
to
it.
you and hello to you.
Yeah, go for it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, listen, we're running out of time.
Well, we can never run out of time. Do we have to?
Yeah,
We're
I
having
know.
so much fun though.
I
Yes.
know. I want to do it again and again.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll do it. We'll do
Okay.
it. Absolutely.
But I want to thank you for being here, AJ, and thank you. I'm
Absolutely.
so glad to actually meet you both in person. Here I'd been on Zoom with you,
Yes,
and I love
yes,
Zoom.
yes.
But it's so nice to have you both
It's
here
always
in
nice to
person.
see you in person, yes, I love
Yes,
it,
it's
yes.
lovely.
Thank
So
you
thank
very
you for
much.
being here.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
inviting us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us, and I hope you'll join us again next week for another exciting adventure with my guest.
Choices. We have choices. They are the source of the success in our lives. When things happen to us, we can choose to believe they happened for a reason. We can discover opportunities in the most difficult experiences if we are willing to look for them. It is what we choose to think about each experience that determines how we respond to it. How we respond determines whether or not we find richer, more purposeful, more joyful lives. We are the only ones who can choose our attitudes and the principles that we live by. Choose well, my friends. Choose well.